This is going to be an impeccably hard video to make, but I made a video kind of like this. Um, but I wanted to make it a little bit more obvious, a little bit more transparent, which I find really difficult because I talk very figuratively and emotionally, and that makes it very difficult to be very blunt and straight to the point. But I'm going to try. I'm going to try my hardest to do that. I'm so excited at this stage in life to finally see a dream come into a reality, which is to move to a new area of the United Kingdom with my girlfriend after being with her for 9 years and the pair of us only being 25, which might seem old, but it's not. We're still quite young, and we have bought a house, which is nuts. But it's not come overnight. It's come from a lot of years of hard work. And my partner Helen is a teacher, and she does it fantastically. She's just finished her second year, or she's about to finish her second year, and she has done a tremendous job. And it's a hard job, and I get to see it from behind the scenes, and it's very difficult. And I'm very proud of her, of how far she's come and what she does on a day to day, and what she does behind the scenes. I'm very proud of her, and there's not a person that I can see that works as hard as her. Um, and when I was looking for a job that wasn't social media based, a bit of an income earner, I was encouraged by her and friends and family to pursue being a teaching assistant, which I was a bit nervous of because I don't think I love doing anything more than I love doing social media and making stuff and being creative and being free and independent. But I did retail and I drove myself nuts because I didn't like working for people and I didn't like the boss versus the employee kind of mindset. But then I went to work in a school doing agency work. So that's kind of like working for yourself. You're earning an agency money and you're kind of getting your foot in the door of different places to work and you're kind of getting a bit of experience. And I tried it and I liked it. I didn't mind it. There were some days where I was like dying to come home and I was counting down the clock and I worked with kids in classrooms that were awful and made me just despise children. And then I went and worked at a school called Kingsway Park, and I really liked it because of some of the people I met, the legends who I got to work with and learned so much from and had so much exposure to. They taught me things of how to take the job in the right direction and how to do it to the best of my ability and how to make the most of it. And I helped a year group when I first started as an agency member. I helped a year group go from being year 11s at the start of their year to being year 11s who finished their GCSEs and sat them successfully and left for the summer. And when they left, I didn't feel anything towards them. I was happy that they were successful and I was happy to see them succeed. And then a friend of mine who I'd worked with for that entire year, he left. And that was really hard to say goodbye to him because I really loved everything he stood for and what he was and the person he was, and I love seeing him. I still see him. He's not by any means out of my life, and I don't ever wish him to be. He's a phenomenal man, and he's taught me a lot, and he's a really nice friend. And hopefully, if I play my cards right, a friend for life because he's a lovely man. And a lot of these people, just because I'm leaving, doesn't mean I'm going to stop caring about them. I will still care about them, and I'll still miss them, and I'll still do my absolute best to get time with them. But I know that's hard. I know I'll be living nearly 2 hours away, and that is tough. But I do like them. I like them a lot, and they've taught me a lot of stuff, and they've taught me a lot of stuff, not just about the job, but also about myself. And they bring that side to me that I really enjoy, and they've made me very aware of how I am with people and how I don't want to be with people when I move up to York full time, properly, officially, and have to work up there. I've got enough people in my life, and I don't want to lose the good group of small people that I have going on. I don't need more. Less is more, and I don't need more. I'm happy with my amount that I've got, and I don't see half of my people enough, and that eats at me. Because I'm a caring person. I like people. I do like people, and I like making good connections with people and showing people that I care and trying to be there for them and trying to support them. And it's hard. It's really tough. It's really tough. And to say goodbye to them is really hard as well. And even though if it's not a full goodbye, it's a half goodbye, and that's still bittersweet and it is sad. But I'm really excited to move up to York, and there's a lot of fun up there to be had yet. and it's about closing the book of this 25-year long journey here to start a brand new book up there. And I'm excited to do it. I'm really excited to do it. And to check back in a few years' time as a much older version of myself to look back on this video and to break it down and do like a comparison to it in the future would be quite exciting. But for now, I don't want to rush over this. I'm a very deep person, and I don't want to. I don't want to overstep this or forget this. I want to know that this happened, and I want to know that I'm okay to miss it, and it's going to be okay to be sad, and it's going to be okay to enjoy the move, and you feel guilty about enjoying the move, but then you're excited at the same time, and it's just a cocktail of emotions that are really difficult. But on the majority, the 30 plus different schools I worked in, I didn't like the classes. I didn't like the school. The staff never made me feel welcomed. I didn't enjoy my time. I was just doing it for the money and the holidays, and because it was the same industry as my partner, my potentially future wife, I was just doing it because it made sense, not because I wanted to. But then I started working with this year group of kids that I've been working with now since September of last year, like 2025 to now. It's a full school year for these kids. I've worked with them every day that I've been in. I've just worked exclusively with these kids, and I can't tell you how proud I am of them. They have been a challenge, and days have been complicated and complex and tough, but the kids have been complicated and complex and tough, and they've improved so much, and they are such success stories in their own rights. A lot of them are so much more successful now than they were when I first met them, and they've done so well, and I'm so proud of them, and I don't want them to ever forget that. And I don't want them to ever forget me. I don't want them to forget the times that I've been there to witness them do something for the first time, and them to be proud of it, to get praise for it. This next generation of kids that are up and coming, they need so much more reinforcement, so much more support than we did in school. They need to be acknowledged. They need to be raised up a level and be appreciated. If we've got any shot at making these kids good humans moving forwards and decent role models for other kids in the school and making these kids feel like they're going to be a functioning member of society one day, we need to put them up a level. We need to make them feel accepted and understood and acknowledged and respected, and make them have characteristics that are desirable for the future, because then they will adapt and they'll improve and they'll do better. And I've worked with these kids, and we've had such success stories. We've had fun days, we've had hard days, we've had tough days, we've had fun days, we've had everything in between. Every single one of the kids that I've worked with this year, this academic year, from September to now, has been tremendous. They've been brilliant, and I'm so immensely proud of them all for their own rights and what they've done and what they've achieved. And it's by no means an easy challenge to take on and do. And to see some of them now go off to enjoy the summer a bit early. Some of them left a bit early, which obviously was sad because it'd be nice to do like a big send off all together. But they've made themselves so proud. I hope they know how proud they've made me. They have been a one in a life, a once in a lifetime type of class to work with, because the personalities, the personas, the way that they act with each other, the way that they act with me, the way that they interact with each day, they've been really, really, really outstanding, and I can't praise them enough for how far I feel they've come, because I see them every day. It's so easy to dismiss kids and to paint them under the same umbrella and put them under the same roof and make them feel less than, and it's so easy in this industry to do that to them. But they're not that. They have improved, and they have come such a long way. And I hope them nothing but the best for the future. I want them to have the best out of life they can get, the best out of school they can get, and moving forwards, just keep being the same versions of themselves that I've come to know them as, and just keep building on it. Keep enjoying the stuff you enjoy. Find the things that you want to get good at. Be okay with not being good first time round and having to make those mistakes to get better. It's fine. It's fine. You can make mistakes and you can fall down and you can get back up again. And I'm proud to have seen you do that firsthand. And these are kids with SEN, and these are kids with different abilities and needs and struggles of their own, and it doesn't set them back. And I've worked with mainstream kids in mainstream schools, in mainstream classes, who bore the death out of me. I go home, I'm like, oh my god, I sit in the car, and I have to blare music at top volume to keep myself awake for the drive home, because in these other schools I've worked with classes that have bored me senseless. And these kids have been a challenge every day, and that's not a bad thing. They are challenging, and they are unique, and they are different, and they are brilliant, and can be even more brilliant moving forwards. And I cannot tell you how proud I've been of them. They have been great. They have been absolutely 100% the best group of young people I've ever worked with, and I'm really lucky to have had a class like that. And even if, because I don't think it's possible, but even if I never have another class like them ever again, I'm so lucky to have had the chance to do this job with them. Because for the first time ever, it wasn't about the money and it wasn't about the holidays. It was about working with them every day and seeing them do better and watching them learn something new and enjoying their progress with them in real time. Success stories. That's what they are. They have been success stories. And they've done so well. Their behaviours have stayed high enough that most of them got to go and enjoy the last day of the trip, and that was lovely. And the form party celebrations we'll have together to send them off into the next, into summer safely, and then for them to enjoy summer holidays and come back in the next year when they're ready. For that September start again, it's going to feel weird not being there. It's going to feel heavy. It's going to feel hard. But I've worked with the teachers, I've worked with the teaching assistants, and for the people that I have met at that school, nothing's perfect. Nothing's ever perfect. Everything's, people higher ups, people you work with, colleagues and whatever, and other kids in the school that aren't necessarily your responsibility, but other people's responsibility. Members of staff that you don't necessarily work with every single day, but you have to interact with. It's never going to be a blanket slate, but I can honestly say I've worked with every single teacher I've worked with. I've not had one problem with them. Because my partner is a teacher, I know and respect how much effort they put in and how hard it is. And I treat them all equally. And then, as far as the TAs go, the teaching assistants, the people I got to learn from, legends. Some of them fantastic, lifelong friends, legends, absolutely beautiful humans. Make it incredibly hard to say goodbye to them, but that's what makes them brilliant. And they've taught me so much, and they've helped me so much, and I'm never going to forget them. And these kids, this last class, I couldn't ask for a better one. I couldn't ask for a better class. They've done me so proud, and they've done themselves so proud. And it's such a shame we didn't get to have like a parents' evening at the end of the year to sit down with every one of their parents properly just before the summer, just to explain how good your kid did this year, because they did. They did such a good job. And no one knows what the future looks like for anyone, but I hope they do well moving forwards, and I hope they take a little bit of what they've learnt with me forwards, and I hope they keep being the people they are, because if they keep it up, there'll be fantastic young people in the world, and there'll be fantastic people in society one day, and I'll have been proud to have shared a brief little footnote in their history with them, tiny little space in time with them, to see them be the people they've been with me this year, because I've been tremendously lucky and humbled and honoured and privileged to work with such a decent, complex group of kids who sometimes don't even get the credit they deserve, and they deserve so much credit, because I want to say that I want to let them know that they have done me so proud, and themselves so proud, and their parents so proud. And even if it doesn't always come across that way, they have. And they should be so happy with what they've done. And they should take that and wear it like a badge of honour, like a medal, like a trophy, because they've been great young people and they represent that school so well. We have been on 2 trips with the general public, and these kids who, yeah, in a classroom can be tough, can be challenging on some days. They've behaved themselves immaculately. They overcome challenges. They deal with problems. They solve issues and resolve things, and they're never perfect. No one's perfect. It's impossible to be perfect, and that's okay, because the people they are, with their faults and their struggles and their challenges and anything in between, they still turn out to be tremendous human beings like they are. And I thank them because they've given me, in what has been the hardest period of my life, that like one of the hardest 3 years of my life, and I know, and this last year has been incredibly tough because of all the setbacks and the house struggles and the lots of the pullbacks from the paperwork and having to deal with all the stresses of the move and hopefully trying to get it into a reality. I I've had these kids to focus the attention that I needed to, the distraction I needed from my life and my house and my move and all the stress. I focused on the kids and I focused on the work and I focused on the job. And whether it's the people at work talking to me or it's the kids, it's distracted my brain from going into the really dark, shadowy realms of where I used to be as a young man and a young boy to now. They kept my brain fighting because I knew I had to turn up every day for these kids because these kids turned up every day for me, and I owed it to them to be a great version of myself for them, to keep them safe, to keep them secure, to keep them learning, to keep them focused, to keep them growing and knowing that they are really incredible young people and that they can do whatever they want moving forwards in life. Just don't give up. Focus on stuff. Be okay with chasing goals, and it's never going to be right the first time, and it doesn't have to be. You can make a million mistakes. It doesn't matter if you have got dyslexia, ADHD, dyscalculia. It doesn't matter if you've got autism. It doesn't matter if you've got any of these things that people try and put labels on. You're brilliant people. Stay brilliant. Stay amazing. And keep trying to be the best version of you can be. And at the end of the day, no one can do better than that. So thank you. It's been an honour. It's been a privilege. It'll be sad as anything to not be around with you guys moving forwards. And it breaks my heart. But I have been so proud to have the time that we've had together. So thank you. I appreciate you. You little legends. Well done.